If you saw my art video and you saw me wearing this shirt and you're thinking, did she film these on the same day? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So I want to try something as far as reacting to my Goodreads challenge. I kind of summarized it last year. As for what I did and didn't read and the reviews I did, well, this year I kind of made an unofficial goal for reading, and that was to review every book I read. And as you'll see, I have read 130 out of the 63 I wanted to read. And so that was a lot of reviews. Now, some of them are more detailed than others. The things I read that were arcs, obviously, have more to do with them than the books I read for fun. But I thought this would be an interesting way to sort of review it in a video, is just to do a record of myself live reacting. I have not seen this. They sent the email last week and I was like, no, I don't need to look at that. So we're going to look at my year in books now. Obviously, I have met my challenge. I met my challenge months ago, but I never changed the number. I always want to see how many more I can get from that. I have changed it on StoryGraph. I keep kind of moving the goalpost on StoryGraph, but that's different. So let's go ahead and just see my year in books. Okay, my year in books 2021. So I read almost 40,000 pages, so 39,973. And I read 130 books, which is a nice even number. I don't think it's going to end there. I have to finish all those other books. Like, I have to have no books in my TBR on and like currently reading on Goodreads. It will drive me crazy. All right, so the shortest book I read was back in, I think it was March, was when I taught the yellow wallpaper. So I read that. It was 64 pages, and the longest one I read was Skeleton Crew. Okay, and which is interesting because Skeleton Crew is a short story collection, 612 pages for Skeleton Crew. My average book length was 307 pages. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, the most popular is the same as last year. If you remember correctly, I think last year my most popular was also The Great Gatsby, and my least popular is Nabi. That's interesting. This is a graphic novel manga thing that is very weird to describe, but I picked it up at a local thrift store. It's now currently in my school library, like my classroom library, in case anyone wants to pick it up. I don't know how to describe it, but I can understand that being least popular. I doubt many people know about it. My average rating was a 4.1. Okay, I mean, I can see that. I can see 4.1 being the average. I'm very sparing with my fives, but I did read a lot of really good books this year, so that makes sense. All right, highest rated on Goodreads. Okay, so the highest rated of all 130 is the last book in is it The Bear and the Nightingale trilogy? Oof, that's going to drive me crazy if I don't know what it's called. But anyway, The Winter of the Witch is the very last book, and The Bear and the Nightingale, The Girl in the Tower, and The Winter of the Witch. That series is really good, by the way, and I do not physically own the books, so one day I'm going to need to get my hands on them. But that's the highest rating of all 130 books. That's crazy. My first review, yep, it would be Where Dreams Descend, because I read that for Buzzwordathon for the word dream. I have a full review. And then this is my 2021 in books. I'm looking back and it makes me so nostalgic for January, because I was able to read so many of these books in January. Oh, The Wolf and the Woodsman. Because I had time. I had a whole month in January where I could just read until I started going to school. And that's when, look, that's an audiobook. That was an audiobook. That was an audiobook. Audiobook, because I started driving to school and I didn't have time to read physical books, so I had to do audiobooks. So that's fun. Oh, that's going to be on Worst Books. I can tell you that right now. Yep, audiobook. It's really cool to see this and be like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing at the time. And then I got into like May and having time off for like a whole month, which again was very nice. This right here is when I did the Asian readathon for the month of May. Oh man, that's so cool. There's another buzzword. Clap When You Land is so good. I've got to get a physical copy of that in my classroom. Oh, that's probably gonna be on Worst Books. It's just a hint. That one too. Oh no. And then I started reading a series by big blue aliens, and I'm not sorry about it. That was my comfort series this summer, and I don't feel bad about it. I need to get a copy of that for my classroom as well. I really like that. Yep, a lot of aliens, a lot of aliens. And then we have sort of where I started reading during the school year, and I picked up graphic novels because I could not fathom reading anything else. So a lot of graphic novels, audiobooks, and I kind of got out of reading. And then I started reading a little bit more. Graceling was a school book that I read while my kids did independent reading. I read with them. You should always model that. And then I had a lot more audiobooks here at the end of the year. I finished Fire as also an audiobook. And then the most recent books I finished were The Excalibur Curse and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I actually read that one as I'm filming on December 22nd. I finished that one today, started it and finished it. It's the first 5 books in the comic. This was my last review so far to them. I mean, I just wrote one for Sabrina. So, again, if you want to read it, it's there. I write reviews for everything. And look at that. I read 130 out of 63 books, 206%. I like that. I like that it says you're really good at reading, and probably a lot of other things too. No, it's just reading. It's just reading. So yeah, that was my year in review. I am really interested to see what the color of the banner is going to be. Let me scroll all the way back down through those 130 books. The color, I don't think it's been posted yet. I'm assuming they're going to wait till next week to show us. I'm interested to see what color they're going to do for next year. So anyway, that was my live reaction to my Goodreads. I don't know right now what I'm going to set my 2022 reading challenge at. Usually I just add 1 to whatever the challenge was the year before, so it would be 64 books. But I don't know. I might make it hard on myself and do like 130, or at least like 100. I've gotten into where I read audiobooks, I read audiobooks so often that it kind of helps boost that count up because I'm reading it to and from school. But I don't know. We'll see. Excuse me. We'll see. But definitely follow me on Goodreads. Follow my reviews on Goodreads, but I also review stuff on Storygraph. And I do a lot of my reading challenges there. Like I do the 2021 reading challenge here, but I do the Buzzwordathon and some other stuff on Storygraph. So you can kind of see what I'm thinking over there. And I think that's about it. I will let you know, and you will see it whenever I post what I'm going to be reading for 2022, unless that gets dropped before this video gets edited, in which case I'll just add it onto this video. But anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed seeing my crazy stats for this year. I certainly did.